Coming on next is the Twintiquin Antique Roadshow with your host, Drake Snide, right after this.
What's going on, guys? Drake Snide here with Twintiquin Antique Roadshow. I want to give a shout out to New Generation Antiques out of Mount Victory, Ohio. He sells on Facebook, American Pickers 24/7. Travels and shows all over the country. Now go visit New Generation Antiques today and tell them Twintiquin sent you.
Hey, this is Drake Snide with
Drake Snide.
Next Door Radio and the Twintiquin Antique Roadshow. Today's show is brought to you by the Antique Orphanage out of Cedar Bluff, Virginia. Antique Orphanage, dealing with only 100% original antiques and collectibles.
Also, the Antique Orphanage is always looking to buy antiques, collectibles, and oddities.
Antique Orphanage, a wide range of A to Z. Be sure to check out the Antique Orphanage on Facebook today. And always remember, every piece deserves a good home.
And good afternoon. This is the Twintiquin Antique Roadshow right here on Next Door Radio, nextdoorradio.com. And today we get to welcome Mr. Big Daddy himself. What's going on, Craig?
Hello, first-time caller, long-time listener.
There you go. What you got going on today?
We are heading back from a flea market, one of the biggest flea markets around the area, actually. And they really step it up on holidays, and we rarely do a flea market as far as setting up. However, this one went so well that we're considering doing more flea markets.
That's awesome. Now, earlier, before we got live, your wife in the background said, "Well, we definitely bought a lot too." That seems like that happens all the time.
Yeah, the problem, it's great having her as a teammate for setting up and having the store and everything. But even like today, they were so busy, we actually needed two of us at the booth.
Wow.
Most of the day. Like, it's hard to sneak out. I tell her, hey, I got to run to the restroom, make way. And you won't believe how much shopping there is on the way to that restroom. So
that's awesome.
She's like, I don't remember the restroom being an hour away. Well, honey, they moved it. So
that's awesome.
That's how that went down. Well, then where did you buy all that stuff you got in your hands?
The bathroom.
Oh, no, somebody gave it to me. It was at the garbage can. Whatever.
That's awesome.
But it's so tempting.
Well, cool. Well, tell the listeners a little bit about you. I know you own Big Daddy's Antiques in Berlin Center, Ohio. Tell the listeners a little bit about you. What's your story?
Been in automotive nut my whole life. I raced cars. I was an auto mechanic in the beginning, as far as right out of school. And shortly, probably 2 years after I graduated and having a few jobs in the automotive field, I had the opportunity to go work for a guy making prosthetic legs. And he typically would hire people that were good with their hands, like mechanics or electricians, or carpenters, I should say. And since I was a mechanic and I was mechanically inclined enough to fill the bill, he hired me, gave me an opportunity, and I learned from the bottom up. And now prior to COVID, I was fitting patients. I'm a certified licensed prosthetist.
Wow.
So I now was making the arms and the legs and everything, and I love it. I think I was put on this planet to do that. And I may go back to it one of these days. I'm not really sure how it's all going to work out. We planned on having a antique store in our 60s where I would still do what I love to do part-time, prosthetics, and she would retire from her occupation, which is medical assistant, and open up a store and have her run it. And I would hopefully work 2 days, 3 days a week, and be fortunate enough to do two of the things I love: buying, selling antiques, fitting prosthetics. So I did prosthetics for 30 years. Like I said, COVID, it was so bad here in Northeast Ohio that they wouldn't let us in nursing homes. They wouldn't let us in the hospitals. We couldn't do patient home calls. We got to the point where like 90% of our staff was furloughed. And then that was in April. And then January, I got notification that my position or my job is no longer available. So In the interim, we had opened up Big Daddy's Antiques in November, and with the intentions of I was going to go back part-time if they did call me back to work. But, with them not calling me back and my job going away, then kind of put me into the full-time position of running the store, having a lot less time on my hands.
I completely understand that.
Yeah. But I mean, it was a spur of the moment decision. We thought the building that we're in used to be an antique store. COVID shut them down back in April 2020, so they never reopened. It got vacant, and I called the lady who used to run the store, who had that store in that building, and I just called her to see how she was doing out of the blue, and she talked me into opening it up, and that was in October.
Man, what a great conversation.
Anytime, I mean, the best, our experience has been that the best 3 months of the year to sell antiques is October, November, December. And so I had to really get things done and do the build out in the building and make food, all kinds of stuff. But it worked out really well. We had a pretty good November, December. And actually, it's been it's just with the word getting out there and, doing a lot of advertising and dropping cards, making acquaintances with other shop owners, in the area, word of mouth and all that. Everything is working out really better than expected, actually. So we're pretty happy about that.
That's awesome. So the past 30 years you were making prosthetic legs and arms and stuff like that. When you lost your job, when COVID hit, unfortunately with COVID, a lot of businesses and stuff went down. But after 30 years of doing this, that next day, what'd you say to yourself? Like, oh my God, I bet you were freaking.
Well, yeah, I mean, honestly, it wasn't even a week after that. I've had 2 or 3 people call me wanting me to come work for them.
Oh wow!
And
awesome.
Like I said, I plan on going back part-time anyways. When they did call me back, but I kind of saw the writing on the wall. There's a little bit of politics at play with me coming back anyways. So, and I don't want to get into that, but I was not surprised at all that my quote position was unavailable.
Dang.
But yeah, I've been in touch with a few people, and if it makes sense to where I can go back to doing prosthetics, and she can, if she even wants to, quit her job. I'd like to probably do that, but we still have some discussions. Need to take place.
Oh yeah. Now, let's talk the Big Daddy Antiques in Berlin Center. Let's when a customer walks into your shop, what can they expect from your vendors?
Well, there's a lot of automobilia, but the feedback I'm getting from everybody is that how neat it is, how clean it is, and how well organized. They're especially happy that we don't carry a lot of, but we don't have, I kind of watch what the vendors bring in. I don't want a lot of junk in there that you can get at a flea market. I don't want a lot of new items there. We stick with the collectibles and antiques. I'm pretty strict. We do very well. We get a lot of compliments. All the vendors are doing well. The same vendors we started with are still there today.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That says something for,
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Waiting list. There's probably, Oh man, there's 5 people on the waiting list, and I've added 2 booths besides what we started out with. And one of the guys that was running bookshelves just went over in the booth. So, like I said, it's going really well. I hope it stays at this momentum. I hope that we're always able to find antiques. Last time I spoke, I think I said that's kind of the difficult part is locating the stuff. And the stuff now, and I think there's since I last spoke to you, we have been able to buy home contents from longtime collectors, and that's we're pushed to go to the flea market today because we have so much stuff now that I don't have room to put it at the store.
That's always a good problem to have sometimes, though. I do remember I had the chance to go to Big Daddy Antiques in Berlin Center down. When was this? March, April, May. Was that March? It hadn't been that long.
You're breaking up a little bit.
Well, I had the pleasure to go down to Big Daddy Antiques. It was me and Ryan and Tara, and we actually our first. I don't know if anybody's heard, but we do a YouTube channel here on Next Door Radio with Twintiquin Antiques. And we had the pleasure to literally go into Big Daddy's. You opened up on your day off, and it was absolutely just as soon as you walk in, what you were talking about, the cleanness and the organization and the front, the presentation of it all is outstanding. You can't beat where the location is. You can't beat what it looks like on the inside, the front. Oh, it was absolutely outstanding.
Thank you very much. We have a large porch area, and that porch is my wife's favorite thing, I think. It's full of primitives and has a lot of curb appeal. That's nice. Kind of what brings people in there, too. Even if they're not even into antiques, the speed limit's 55 out in front of our building, and every single day people are saying that, boy, we blew by here and we saw how just out of the corner of our eye, it struck us that we got to turn around and go back and see this place. So.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, we
appreciate that.
We bought a few things just coming into the parking lot, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
Mm-hmm.
That was good, and that's the way it is. I see people pull in, and then I don't look again, and then 5 minutes later, I'm like, "Where are you guys?" Oh, okay, here they are bringing stuff inside the building. From the patio. So, yeah, as long as they come in and in that location, we did have a few things get stolen recently, so we were.
Oh man.
That's I was waiting to see until that happened, and before I pulled the trigger on a camera setup. But because for other antique dealers, they've all told me, I can't believe you don't bring that stuff in every night. I said, I have half the stuff inside there. There's no room for any of that, So
man, can you imagine all that stuff on your front porch?
Oh my God.
Yep. So
there was nowhere to put it inside, and we'd have to start at 3:00 and we close at 5.
Yeah.
Just bring that stuff in.
It's always that one bad apple in the group that destroys it for everybody.
Yeah. I expected it. I really did. It just everything. We've just been super busy lately, and I like to research thoroughly before I dive into something like camera systems, because I want to be able to upgrade it in the future. It seems like camera systems are like computers and dogs. They age like every 1 year is like 7 years, it seems like. So
that's true.
But do a little.
Some of the stuff inside your shop that you've made, I can't guarantee that you don't know how to make a camera system. My Lord.
Oh, thanks. I wish I had more time to do that. I really enjoy making my own lamps and just repurposing items, and some of it's silly, and that's kind of why I do it.
Hey, there's always that one piece that attracts that one person. That's all you need.
Right, and that's surprising too. Everybody's into so many different things, and I mean, stuff that I've had for possibly 5 years, sitting around, or that I've taken to different antique malls to sell. One day somebody comes in and, I mean, they don't ask any questions. They just buy it. They love it. They know somebody that would really enjoy it if they buy it as a gift or whatever. And, that's the part I like. Those, how they'll be attracted to a certain item that I made or anybody else's story made, and try to figure out how we made it, and try to figure out all the different kind of car parts that might be in it, or lamp parts, typewriter parts, pencil sharpener parts. Some of it's steampunk, and some of it's just stuff I've been buying throughout the years that's been sitting in a bin in my garage.
That's awesome. Well, one thing, as soon as you walk into the storefront, Big Daddy's Antiques, is you can see this table. It's a booth with a mile marker sign on it, but it's got hinges in it. I fell in love with that piece as soon as I got in there.
Yeah.
I just couldn't bring that baby home.
Piece. You should have, because it's old.
Man, I couldn't. Oh, you already sold it?
Oh, yeah.
See, that's unfortunate.
That's been gone.
That's why you always say, that's why we always say, if you see something in an antique store or antique mall, buy it today because it might be gone tomorrow.
Yeah, that's the truth. I mean, we're constantly changing. That's why people come in there every single week, and now I don't know, it's not really a joke, but they're excited to see what we did to it, what we changed. Because my wife, who's 100% responsible for the floor plan in there, she really changes everything around all the time. And it's because we do sell a lot of stuff there. So
that's awesome.
You have to, and if you don't like the way something's sitting in a window, this is the part I dislike. You should move one thing, but that one thing results in moving 10 more things because, you got nowhere else to put it. And it's just,
I bet she's laughing in the background.
I don't know. She's giving me the stink eye right now. But people appreciate that, and they look forward to coming in to see how we kind of decorated and things like that. We've got those two deer heads on the wall, and the doe that's on the wall. That one gets decorated for every holiday.
That's got to stay there then. That's a landmark.
Yeah, she likes doing that. That's what is that right now? Red, white, and blue stars and a flag, like a bandana, or what do you call that thing? Yeah, it's like a bandana around it. So, she likes to do it, and it seems to be receptive to all the people that come in there.
We'll never know. We are coming down there on the 15th. We are doing another series of Forgotten, Lost, and Found by Life Behind the Counter on a YouTube channel. Just all you got to do is click on Next Door Radio, look for Twintiquin, and you can find us there. Like and subscribe today. But I am coming down there the 15th and the 16th, so you might have another bench if I can bring it home.
Oh, yeah. I'll work on that.
Make it happen. Make it happen, brother.
Make it happen.
So we're talking about our YouTube channel a little bit. Let's you were kind of the first half of this series that we started, Forgotten, Lost, and Found, Life Behind the Counter. You were Big Daddy's was in our first video. What was that experience like? What did you think about that whole deal?
I was excited about the whole ordeal. I think the antique definitely making a comeback. And certain aspects of the antiques is how we get things, how we locate items. I think what you're doing is a great idea. And the more it gets out there, the more interest it's going to get, and the more people.
Yeah, it's definitely fun. It's exciting. It's just meeting these people around the country. With you, we became really good friends since. And then also Ed down with Pocket Change down there in I forgot what town that is. So, Alliance, Ohio. That's where we stayed at a hotel that. But it's just getting to meet these people along the way. It's really, really exciting, and I'm just really enjoying the process and see where it goes.
Yeah, and it's Ed. I've known him for we've been buying from Ed. I don't know, probably 5-6 years. And he's always treated us really, really good. He's given us discounts. He's always had great inventory. Man, that guy gets good inventory. He's got a great eye, too. Holy cow. He really, he's got his new store looking really sharp down there. And he's helpful. You know, if he buys something and there's a whole bunch more of it left over, he'll turn me on to it. You know, he helped me with all that barn siding that I did that one wall.
Yeah, you sent me a picture of that. You sent me a picture
Yeah.
a couple weeks after. He's like, "This wasn't done when you were here." I was like, "Well, that's unfortunate.
Right.
I would love to see that in person."
Yeah, so it came out great, and you know, that's all that came. He even delivered it to my store, so
Oh, that's awesome.
it's nice to have a relationship with a fellow antique store owner who, you know, we help each other out, and a lot of businesses don't do that. But I don't think there's, you know, in the antique business, I don't see how you can be enemies. You know what I mean? I
Absolutely.
think.
Absolutely.
When I first met Ryan, I sent him out to Columbiana, and man, he spent a couple $1,000s that day with those guys out there. So
That's a good day.
yeah, the networking helps.
Once again, this is Drake Snide with Twintiquin Antique Roadshow right here on Nextdoor Radio, nextdoorradio.com. We have the honor of the owner of the owner of Big Daddy's Antiques in Berlin Center. We got Mr. Craig on the phone line today, but we really appreciate you coming on. Talking about
right.
the relationships and the people that we meet along the way. It's crazy in this antique world over the years. What I've met in the last 6 years, 6 or 7 years I've been in it is, well, of course I've collected longer than that, but been in the business and the hobby for full time about 7 years. But knowing you, seeing Big Daddies and doing this YouTube channel, stuff like that, I'm really excited to see where this goes.
Me too. I love it.
Yep.
And looking forward to the future with this, you know.
Yep. And then, so what we're going to do, we are coming down there on the 15th as well, going down to Alliance, Ohio, and we'll probably stop in Berlin Center to see you with Big Daddy's Antiques. And I can't wait to see you on the next trip, man.
All right, buddy. Same here.
Well, it's truly an honor to have you on. I really appreciate your time. And once again, this is Craig with Big Daddy's Antiques in Berlin Center. Please go like him on Facebook. Find him on Facebook and like his page today. We appreciate it, man. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much. Talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Take care, bud.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Once again, this is Drake Snide with Twintiquin Antiques Roadshow right here on Nextdoor Radio. That was Craig with Big Daddy's Antiques in Berlin Center. We can't thank him enough. Talking about the YouTube channel, guys, go like and subscribe today. Big Daddy's Antique is one of our first videos that we aired, Forgotten, Lost, and Found. Do not hesitate to like and subscribe today. Go to Nextdoor Radio. Look for that. Guys, we appreciate it. And remember, you be the difference while somebody smiles today. Have a great day, guys.